peak performance mindset. Look at all. Getting ready to present at getting ready to start the peak performance. Hi, everybody. Christine Harrington here, the Savvy Sales Lady. And we have our producer, Wes.
How you doing, guys?
You know, looking at that bumper, I'm going, oh my gosh, all my different hairstyles over the years.
Mine has remained the same.
Well, I was going to say, Wes, you're lucky. You don't have to worry about that. Well, we have a dynamic guest today, and she has written several books to help businesses and to help everybody be more successful on Instagram. And that is Corey Walker. Bring her on in. Hi, Corey. Thank you so much.
Of course.
It's
glad to be here.
Having you. It really is. And I did a poll on LinkedIn yesterday. I should have given it more time, but honestly, Corey, it just dawned on me yesterday that I should do a poll and ask the audience what questions do they want to ask you. But the number one result that I got a small sampling, but the number one result was, how can businesses be effective on Instagram? That's the pressing question. The number two was, do hashtags really work?
Okay, well, I can answer both those questions. So
Great.
If you're ready. Okay. So for businesses, I have been telling a lot of people that Instagram can be used like a sales funnel. So I'm sure most of your audience are into sales funnels and how all that works. And the way I break it down is, so Reels is at the top of the funnel. And the reason is that is going to go to your largest audience. Instagram is really pushing Reels because they're trying to beat TikTok, and they're just really trying to grow that short form video space. So they're going to be showing it to a lot of people, and not all those people are going to be your target audience, but that's okay, because the people that are going to move further down your funnel, and that is your main feed. So on your main feed or your profile page is where you're going to have, your regular images, your carousels, your Reels can go there, of course, as well. And then they get to know you a little bit better that way. And then once they are a follower of yours, they can follow you also. They'll be on stories. They'll see those. But stories is where you get a lot more personal. So I don't really share a ton of stuff about, my family, my cats, what I did on the weekend on my main feed. I stick pretty close to business, unless it's something I did with my family that I can kind of relate back to my business, but I don't go completely off topic very often in my main feed. Stories, however, they expire in 24 hours. I'm a lot more forthcoming about, maybe a fun book that I'm reading, or if it's my kid's birthday or something like that. That is where they can really start to get to know you more as a person, and you warm up to them. And then finally, if you do some lives, then they get to interact with you, live, more back and forth. And that's where you can really do a lot of your sales, because people can ask you bigger questions, especially if you have a product or a service that costs a little bit more money. Those lives are a great opportunity to really seal the deal.
So I am going to be releasing a course on cold calling here. So from what I'm hearing you say, that would be, I should do it live on Instagram as a great way to promote that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And you also have a course. You've got several courses. Do you want to talk about those, Corey?
Sure. Well, I have the main course that I have. It's just a little mini course right now, but sorry about that. the main mini course that I have right now is on Chat GPT. So that's, I just wanted to give people a quick and dirty 3-day little course. It's completely free. If you go to my Instagram page, which is just at Corey C. Walker, it's in the link in my bio, and that will give people 3 days worth of ways. Yeah, it's right there on the screen. That's exactly where it is. 3 days worth of ways to use ChatGPT to create content. So if you haven't checked it out yet, it's amazing. Like all the things that you can do with it. So this breaks down how to do a blog post, how to do, let's see, social media caption, and how to generate ideas using it. And I always tell people, just be sure that you read through it, make sure it makes sense, edit it, make it your own, and not just, put it out there word for word, because it can do some, it's not perfect. It's still a machine. So make sure you read it and use it as more of a jumping off point than just, this is it, I'm going to print as soon as it spits it out. So that's one course. I also have a Reels ebook that is also available there on the on my Snip feed on Instagram. Yeah. So a few different things, 30 Reels. Just go out there and look at all the freebies. There's a lot of fun stuff out there.
I signed up for your chat. What is it? Chat
GPT. Yeah.
Yeah, Chat GPT last night. And I signed up for it, and I really enjoyed it, Corey. So I want to encourage you guys to go out there and follow Corey and get all of her freebies. And Corey, we have known each other on Instagram 3-4 years, maybe 5
at
years.
Least. I think it's probably at least.
Yeah, and I'm the typical person who just screwed up on Instagram. Like, I wasn't consistent. I posted every once in a while. I shied away from stories. And can you address how important that is, or the frequency?
Yeah, well, I mean, being consistent is important. The algorithm likes it when you are consistent, and your followers, if they can rely on seeing your content out there, they're going to remember you more. If you just post once every 2 weeks randomly, the algorithm is kind of like, give me more, and then I'll help you out. It likes to see positive interactions. So the more times that people are, either liking a post, leaving a comment, or if you have a carousel, the more times people are going all the way to the end of the carousel, or with a reel, the more watch time you have on it. All of those are positive interactions. So if you post, once in a blue moon and then you're out, it's barely worth doing at that point. Mm-hmm. And then let's see, the second part of your question. Oh, how often should you be posting? I mean, if you really want growth and you really want Instagram to be part of your sales funnel, sales team for you, I would say get on Reels a few times a week. I'm trying to do them 5 days a week, but I know that's aggressive for a lot of people. So I won't put that as, but if you can do a couple Reels a week, do some carousels. Carousels perform a lot better than just one static image. So if you could do 3 Reels, 2 carousels, and then try and get on stories every day, even if it's not necessarily all about your business, but just get your face out there, talk about your day. If you had a client appointment, maybe before you go to the client appointment in your car, just be like, hey, I'm on my way to see, you don't have to say their name, but see so-and-so. We're going to talk all about X, Y, and Z. And then when you get done with the client call, you could hop in the car again and say, oh my gosh, we had so many breakthroughs, and this is what she learned, things like that. And you can also, anytime you do any type of post, whether it's a reel or a carousel or just a regular post, you can always share those to stories. So that's an easy one to keep getting those out there. You can also share other people's posts. So if something really resonated with you or fits in line with other things that you've been saying, and you're like, oh, hey, remember last week I was talking about this? Well, Corey said right here the exact same thing, and stuff like that.
Okay. Great tips, Corey. They really are great tips. So, on Reels, what does it really matter about the look of the reel, or do you have any tips on, so many people don't want to do reels because they don't have the right lighting. And as you can see, I was adjusting mine while you were talking, because I'm always worried about the lighting. I always feel like look like I'm in the dark, and I've got lights all around me. Someone said it's because I have vaulted ceilings. I don't know if that's true or not, but my gosh, time flies. What can you talk about quickly about reels?
Yeah, so I mean, there is some truth. You don't want to look like you're in the dark. However, a simple ring light, that's what I have on right now. I had just, my regular lights in my room, but then I have a ring light, and I think I paid maybe $29 for it on Amazon. So it's not expensive equipment. But just have a nice light on you. If you don't want to do that, just sit in front of your window. So, put your camera on a tripod, or put the phone on, leaning on something, and then face the window. That's going to have some nice natural light. So yeah,
the
lighting
camera, the window should be
in front of you.
Should be behind the camera.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have just a little cheap tripod, or even can just, rest it on your windowsill or whatever. But yeah, that nice natural light is going to look really the best, or a ring light. Sometimes I'll use both, but sometimes that's overkill. Right now, we've been having so much rain in California that I've had to use the ring light exclusively because it's been so dark. But yeah, so lighting is good. If you can use captions on there, a lot of people are watching reels. Either they're watching it at work when they're not supposed to be, or they're just, scrolling away in bed or whatever. Tons of people now watch it with the sound off. So if you can add those captions, it's free within Instagram itself. You can add captions. It's just a little sticker. And it does a pretty good job, and you can edit it as well if it, misinterprets a word. There are other captions apps that are a little bit more fancy if you want to add some more pizzazz. I think there's one that's literally called Captions. So that's another option. I do try to use some trending audio in terms of music. And I try to mix up, sometimes I'll do some of those fun voiceover things just to hop on a trend. But I also have really been trying to do a lot more where it's my own voice that's speaking. And one thing a lot of people don't know is that the algorithm does pick up the words that you're saying. I mean, obviously, if it can interpret it into a caption, it can also just interpret your words. And that is being used as SEO within Instagram as well.
Really?
Yes.
So now you have to have keywords on what you say?
I mean, it can just help, like, if you're talking about something and you just want to throw in an extra word or two that is going to be in there, that you want your key person to be looking for. Yeah, all of that.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then you had that other question about hashtags. There's all this debate back and forth. Do hashtags still work? I find that they still work. I had a post recently, and you can look on the professional dashboard and see where things are coming from, where your viewers are coming from. And I had more on that post coming from hashtags than anywhere else. Now, it doesn't tell you on the professional dashboard which hashtag it is. But this post was just like a meme about, that show Wednesday for Wednesday Addams. It's on Netflix. Yeah. So I think I had a few hashtags in there that related to that. So, but those were all new viewers that hadn't seen my stuff before, and they all came in through hashtags. So still use hashtags. They still work. I don't care what Adam Azari says. They still do.
Yeah, right. Well, Corey, we're at our 15-minute mark, but I'm going to ask Wes, do you have a question for Corey that I didn't ask that she can answer it in a minute?
I don't know if I have a question that can be answered in a minute, but coming from the like reels and I guess shorts from a guy's side, I'm not gonna dance, I'm not gonna sing. What do you think is like the best thing that somebody can do to get started?
Yeah, I mean, just share good information. People are using, TikTok has become a huge search engine. So it's not just all people, dancing, pointing, doing all that now. People are using it to find a lot of information. I was on a TikTok group the other day, and Reels as well, but especially on TikTok, if you're just talking short form in general. And he was, in his 60s, and he's a psychotherapist, and he shares tips on, mental health. So he's definitely not dancing around. People are using it to find information. So share like just really good, solid information about whatever it is you're doing and tips for people. And that should work for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Corey, for this lunchtime chat with Corey Walker, the savvy sales lady, and the fabulous Wes Wyatt. And until next Tuesday at 1:00 for our next lunchtime chat, Corey, I can't thank you enough for sharing your tips with us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All righty, everybody. Bye-bye.